Welcome back to Clark's Ring Rants. Let's get straight into today's video. So coming up this weekend, we have our first real major event and fight in boxing this year, and that will be Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Let's talk about it. So this is a fight that will be taking place at super lightweight. Shakur Stevenson will be challenging Teofimo Lopez. He'll be looking to win a world title in a fourth weight class, and Teofimo Lopez will be looking to extend his winning streak and defend his ring and WBO titles. Teofimo Lopez, the champion, comes into this fight with a record of 22 wins, 13 wins inside the distance, and that one blemish on his record coming against George Kambosos back in 2021. The challenger, Shakur Stevenson, he comes into this bout with a perfect record, 24 wins, 11 wins inside the distance. Now, these two were stablemates for a long period of time. Both were signed to Bob Arum and Top Rank in the early stages of their career. And the fight was touted, it was talked about, but it was never really realistic up until this point. Shakur Stevenson was always a weight class or two below Teofimo Lopez. Obviously now he's caught him up and they're both going to meet at super lightweight, but it was never really feasible for the fight to happen before. They also both boxed at the 2016 Olympics, and they've gone on to have very successful pro careers. And now they finally meet. And it's a fight that I'm really looking forward to. So I'm just going to give you my thoughts, a little bit of a prediction, and how I see the fight playing out. Teofimo Lopez is an interesting fighter. He's an exciting fighter at times. He's funny, he's hilarious out of the ring, in fact. He has some comedy gold moments. Him and his dad's a bit of a nutter as well. They make a good team and they always bring the drama. Teofimo Lopez, in terms of his boxing style, I would say he's someone who fares best when his opponents come looking for him. If you look at the Richard Comey knockout, that was when they traded right hands in the middle of the ring. He was coming at him. It gave Teofimo Lopez a chance to back up, counter, slip, time him and walk him onto shots. We saw the same thing in the Josh Taylor fight. He was countering Josh Taylor to death in that fight. He could not miss. Slip, bang, right hand, slip, uppercut, left hook, whatever you want. He's a very good counter puncher, Teo. And he can be very slick on the back foot when he wants to. His biggest weakness, however, I would say, is when he fights someone a little bit more elusive, someone he has to go looking for, when he has to walk an opponent down, cut the ring off. I wouldn't say that's Teofimo Lopez's strong point, and we've seen in some of his recent fights that's where he struggled. If you cast your minds back to the Sandor Martin fight, Sandor Martin, we all know, is a southpaw, he's slick, he's off the back foot, he's going to wait, and then he's going to punch. Teofimo Lopez really struggled in that fight, and some people may even say he lost. A similar thing happened in the George Kambosos fight as well. Kambosos was waiting, and then bang, he'd hit Teofimo Lopez. Lopez had come looking for him, and he wasn't able to get to him. He did close it down later on in the fight, but ultimately it wasn't enough. So what I'm saying in summary is Teofimo Lopez struggles with elusive boxers on the back foot. When he has to go looking for his opponent and he has to be aggressive, that's when he can look not as impressive. We saw in his most recent bout against Arnold Barboza, Barboza was coming at him, Teofimo Lopez was able to walk him onto shots all night, outbox him, beat him to the punch, move off to the side, and look $1 million. I don't think that's going to be the case in the Shakur Stevenson fight, and I feel this is where Teofimo Lopez may come unstuck on Saturday night. Now, if we look at Shakur Stevenson and his boxing style, Stevenson's style is the absolute antithesis of Lopez's style. He's defensively sound, he's slick, he's elusive, he's a counter puncher, he doesn't care what the crowd think in there, he's got his game plan and he's going to stick to it. We did see in his last fight he was a bit more, what's the word I can use, willing to engage with Zepeda, but I think that's more down to Zepeda's output and his fighting style. It sort of forced Shakur out of his shell in that fight a little bit, and when he did open up, he was able to tag Zepeda, block, cover up, parry, roll to the side, and counterpunch off the ropes when need be. But for Shakur Stevenson, predominantly, he likes to keep his fights in the middle of the ring. He's controlling the distance. He's using his jab. And no one so far has really been able to lay a glove on him in his pro career. It's been pretty straightforward for him. There's a statistic, and Shakur Stevenson is the hardest boxer to hit in terms of power punches from his opponent. And I think Teofimo Lopez may struggle in this fight. We've seen in the build-up, Teofimo Lopez has started the mind games with Shakur Stevenson. He was calling him weak, he was calling him slow mentally, which was actually quite funny in their face-off. And you can see he's trying to get under his skin a little bit. So one thing I think we're going to have to watch out for in this fight is the performative showboating of Teofimo Lopez. I think there's going to be a lot of that. Similar to how Fury was doing it, in the first Usyk fight, to give the judges, the crowd, the commentators, the impression that he's getting the better of the fight when actually he's not, because a lot of people can be swayed and they can be bamboozled by the showboating. But this is something that Shakur Stevenson did pick up on when he was doing a sit-down interview and he was rewatching the Lopez versus Barboza fight. He did point out to the guy, look, Teo's doing a lot of showboating here, but he actually got hit and he's wanting to give off the impression that he's not hurt, nothing can bother him. I think we can expect some of this in this fight. Teofimo Lopez might be getting outboxed. He might get caught with a counter. Don't be surprised if you see the showboating, sticking the tongue out, hands behind the back, all that sort of bravadery to give the impression he's having more success than he actually is in this fight. So, keys to victory for Teofimo Lopez. He's got to start fast in this fight. Cast your minds back to the Lomachenko fight. He started that fight at an electric pace. He was straight onto Lomachenko, pressuring him, did not give Lomachenko a minute in there. And then by the time Lomachenko got started, it was too late. Teofimo Lopez had got into his own rhythm, he'd built up a lead, and although Lomachenko was able to close the gap down the back end of the fight, it wasn't enough, and Teofimo Lopez was able to outbox him, outwork him. He implemented his style really, really well in that fight. He's going to have to do that in this fight. He may even have to earn Shakur's respect, but I'm not sure he can do that. I remember down at the lower weights, Lopez was talked about as being a puncher, but as he's moved up, who has he knocked out? I don't even think he scored a stoppage since the Richard Commey fight, and that was 6 or 7 years ago. So I'd be amazed if he's able to hurt Stevenson, but I think he's going to have to be on him. He's going to have to try and assert himself in some way without getting countered too much on the front foot. And I don't know if he's capable of that because, like I previously said, Lopez is at his best when someone comes towards him and he can slip and counter off their punches. So yeah, Lopez, he's just got to get off to a good start. He cannot allow Stevenson to get into a rhythm. He's got to be unpredictable. He's got to throw maybe some crazy shots. Just try to offset Stevenson as much as possible. But I still don't think that that will be enough in this fight. As for Stevenson, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He just needs to keep doing what he's been doing. Yeah, it might be boring, people might boo, but it's effective. Nobody can hit him. They couldn't even hit him with a bag of rice. He seems to be a defensive genius at this point. No one's been able to work it out. And I think if Teofimo Lopez comes flying at Shakur Stevenson, that is going to play into Stevenson's hands and he's going to light him up like a Christmas tree. And it should be comfortable if that happens. If Teofimo Lopez is a bit awkward and he makes Stevenson go looking for him, can Stevenson walk him down on the front foot? Could he flip the script? Maybe, but I think that'd be uncharted territory for Stevenson and he may struggle a little bit in that regard. Either way, it goes without saying, it sounds a bit generic and you're going to say, well, of course, but whoever can implement their style first and settle into a rhythm will win this fight. I don't see this fight being a back and forth affair. I think whichever fighter gets into a rhythm first will win this fight, and I believe that that will be Shakur Stevenson. I'm not sure what tactics Lopez could implement to solve the enigma that is Shakur Stevenson. I think he's going to end up walking towards him, he's going to be looking for him, and he's just going to get tagged to death all night, and I think it's going to be a unanimous decision victory for Stevenson. Or I could see a situation where they just have a jabbing contest in the middle of the ring, both are a bit standoffish, and again, I think Stevenson will get the better of that. So for my prediction, I believe Shakur Stevenson will become a 4-weight world champion on Saturday night, and I believe he will beat Teofimo Lopez via a decision. Percentage-wise, how do I see this fight? I'm pretty confident Teofimo Lopez could win. I've stated my method of victory if he was to win, but I'd still say it's 65-35, 60-40 in Stevenson's favour. So he's a sizable favourite in my opinion. But let me know what you think in the comments. Who's going to win this fight, Stevenson or Lopez? Who would you like to see win this fight? Let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, share this video and subscribe if you're new. Peace out.